And now, broadcasting from the hatchback of a 72 Ford Pinto, broadcasting from a secret bunker underneath Fort McHenry, broadcasting from the abandoned food court at the White Flint Mall, broadcasting live from their mother's basement, broadcasting from no closer than 100 yards from their court-mandated distance from Tim Ferriss, broadcasting from the back room of El Pollo Hermanos. It's Los Chicos de Niza por Negocios. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by Turnkey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
Welcome back, Nice Guy community. So today on the podcast, we're diving into a growing legal crisis, how revenge porn and deep fakes are being weaponized in divorces. Now, I know that you guys know that I've been through a couple of these divorces, but so long ago, it was before AI and all of these deep fakes. Now, they seem to be commonplace. Well, our guest today, Michelle O'Neill, she's a top family law attorney known for her work before the Texas Supreme Court and her mission to empower women through Divorced to Dynamite and HellonHeels. I love those two names. With her firm, is it OW Lawyers?
OW Lawyers, yes,
okay,
sir.
With OW Lawyers.
We're known as the OWL firm across the state of Texas.
I saw that. It's great on your website. She expands across Texas. She's here to break down the legal landscape, what's changing, and how victims can fight back. I'm ready to get into it. Exciting and interesting topic, Michelle. Welcome to the Nice Guys on Business.
Thank you for having me, Doug.
So, although the show is called The Nice Guys on Business, guys is completely generic, and I know that we have a subject matter that men and women alike are going to want to listen to. So this is an interesting subject, and I want to start with some of the basics. Maybe this is even too basic, but I got to understand a little bit more. What is revenge porn, and what is deep fake evidence? I've never heard of either one of those, so I'm really curious what they are.
Well, you're going to hear about it. I think if you watch the news tonight, you'll hear about it because our First Lady, Melania Trump, is testifying before Congress today about these issues. Revenge porn is when somebody takes a secret video of intimate acts or nakedness and then publishes them to the public against your will. And then deep fake is where they use AI to create a video or still images of the same type of intimate behavior or intimate images or videos. And you see this mostly happening with celebrities. Like that's when it makes the news, is when it happens with celebrities, and then celebrities get extorted or it gets released to the public with celebrities. But that's not the only time. This is not a celebrity issue.
Right.
We're seeing this happening in lawsuits all across the country.
It would seem like right on the surface, I would say, well, isn't that illegal? I mean, isn't it illegal to post a video online or to share a video of someone that's taken secretly? And the other thing is, it's got to be illegal to put somebody else's face on somebody else's body and claim that that's that person that is, posing for explicit photos. Aren't these both things illegal?
You would think so. I mean, in the state of Texas, it became illegal only a few years ago. And in a lot of states, the laws just haven't caught up with technology. Okay. And that's the concern. Mrs. Trump is testifying today before Congress. And her point today is, even if it is illegal, the social media channels, the social media platforms are very slow to take it down when you lodge a complaint. So even if it is illegal, they're still out there, and you may go to Facebook or go to Instagram or YouTube or whatever, or maybe go to a website hosting company and lodge a complaint about this fake image being posted. and they go through some long investigative process, and it may or may not get granted. It may or may not get taken down. It may take a long time. And in the meantime, you've got this false image, or even if it's a true image, but it is an intimate, private image that you didn't consent to having posted, it's up there for the world to see.
Right.
And even worse, you know, the victims of this are mostly young people. They may be minors, or they are young people under the age of 30. And the devastational effects of this emotionally, I mean, that you just can't underestimate that.
And I would have to assume that these are things that follow you around in many cases. Now, we haven't been in this environment technology wise very long, but I would imagine this is going to follow people around for decades, if not longer. It's a permanent fixture on social media, I would have to think.
100%. 100%. I mean, nothing on the internet ever goes away. And if there's somebody out there that sees it, that doesn't have your best interest at heart, they're going to screenshot it. They're going to text it around to all of your other frenemies or enemies, and like your whole entire, social circle. And so, right. I mean, it's never going to go away. And, then if you someday, 20 years later run for public office, then it's going to reoccur. And I mean, it's just terrible. And, if it's fake, then it's just going to recirculate and come back around on you. So it's a huge problem. And it's something that is a technology problem. And it is a current technology problem because of all the AI technology that is just currently in this just state of explosion, with all the new AI stuff that's coming out. And it just, as with anything new, it has really great things about it, but there's also these negative things that are also happening.
I would have to assume that it's really jamming up the works when it comes to legal disputes too, because if there's false evidence that's being put forth and somebody is claiming the false evidence is actually real, we have an additional layer of defense that you need to go through. You have to try to figure out, well, is this actually a real to begin with? It's got to be offering or providing an additional level of complexity to legal disputes, legal issues.
Yeah, 100%. I talked to a judge this morning about what the courts are doing about this problem. And she was telling me that all of the judges that she's talked to in the judicial conferences that they've attended, they're actually stepping up their awareness of this issue by seeking better predicates, what we lawyers would call a predicate. In other words, a chain of custody or assurances that the exhibit or the document or the video or the picture is a true copy. They're seeing an increase of denials of the accuracy of the exhibit or the photograph or the video. They are requiring more forensic analysis. So in other words, experts to come in and analyze the video or analyze the photograph for that accuracy of the recording equipment, the photography equipment, like you said a minute ago, making sure that the head isn't cut off from the body and replaced with a new head type of thing. And if there's any question about accuracy, then they are seeking expert or additional assurances that it is actually a true thing.
All right, let's step back before we get into the legal side of things. Let's talk about the action steps that somebody can take if they're found that they are the subject or they're being targeted by revenge porn or even deepfake content. What steps can they take to either eradicate, eliminate, or delete completely the piece of content online or wherever they're seeing it?
Yeah, so the first thing you can do is just to protect yourself. Any images that you take, you can put watermarks on them so that you can go back and show, like, this was my original image. And then if it's manipulated, like you have your original image with some sort of watermark on it and show that, like, the manipulation. You can also show You can document. Obviously, the first thing to do is if you see something that's fake or something that's posted, screenshot it, document for yourself in case it gets deleted. And that way you've preserved the evidence so that if you have to file a lawsuit or you have to file a complaint, you can prove that the person did the thing that you're saying that they did. Make the report, make it immediately. Don't wait. Don't, cry in the corner for 3 days over it. Make the report immediately. Report it to Facebook, Instagram, all the places. If it's on a private website, figure out who the hosting company is of the website, report it to the hosting company, take legal action. And this can be problematic, but depending on where people live. But if these things between private parties happen so often in relationship breakups, so people are going to live close to each other. Go get a lawyer and file a lawsuit and get an injunction, get a temporary restraining order, get a judge to order it taken down, and get as immediate a measure as you can get from a judge to take action, super quick. There's criminal laws that prohibit this, at least in Texas. So you can go file criminal charges, go to the police and file criminal charges as quickly as you can over it. A civil suit would entitle you to damages for putting you in a false light or for filing these types of private things publicly. So getting a lawyer and immediately taking that kind of action. You can monitor your digital presence. And this is super important. Set up a Google alert on your name.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Restrict who can tag you on social media so that they have to have your approval before you get tagged. That way you're going to know it before somebody can tag you in a picture.
Michelle, before you go on, I just want to remind my community, all of these things are certainly relevant in your life if you are involved in, let's say, a custody dispute for your child. These aren't things that are going to happen all the time, but I would be ready to be prepared to defend against this, especially if there is some level of hostility with your spouse and they're trying to figure out, okay, what can I do so that I can retain custody of our children, as opposed to letting them go to the ex-spouse or the soon-to-be ex-spouse. Also, it could be used against a spouse that one person wants to claim that the other spouse was cheating, and here is the evidence, and it's not real evidence; it's fake evidence. So just be aware that Michelle has given you a list of about 10 or 15 things just now. Don't get overwhelmed by every single detail. Your best bet is to contact somebody that's in the know. Of course, let them give you this information. Also, I'm sure that on Michelle's Instagram page, which we'll make sure we put in the show notes, that she probably has a lot of great information how you can protect yourself. But just take this laundry list of things that you can do as an understanding of, look at all of the things that we can do. Don't just be a victim. Don't wait. Act quickly, but make sure that you are at least hearing the different opportunities that somebody has to do this to you in the event that you get involved. And it's not just through family disputes either. It could be running for political office. It could be trying to get on the city council. There could be anything.
I mean, this has so many applications to so many different people. It could be college kids.
Right.
College students. I mean, young women are the victims of this way more. At least right now, statistics say that young women are the victims of this more than anybody else. Now, I don't think those statistics are going to stay that way, because I think this is going to have a huge increase all across every segment of our society. When you say there's a 900% year-over-year increase of deep fake video in AI, 900% year-over-year increase. That's going to affect every segment of our society, not just young college-age women. So this is going to be something that all of us are going to have to deal with, not just young college girls that are having breakups.
I
So
want to.
we all have to take these measures.
Again, I want to add how the simplicity of this, and I don't want to plant any ideas to those that are thinking, well, this is what I'm going to do to take revenge upon my significant other or my spouse or my boyfriend or girlfriend. But you record enough words from somebody, you can load those into AI and create an audio of someone that is saying something that they actually didn't say at all.
Right.
It doesn't have to be just images. It can be through audio content as well. So just be aware that what Michelle is bringing to the forefront here is just something that her firm deals with specifically. But there are so many other opportunities for you to become the victim of deep fake and this as well.
Yeah, and I think the problem is only going to grow and become more and more prevalent. And I think that's the point that Mrs. Trump is making today before Congress, that we've got to get ahead of this from a legal standpoint and a law standpoint before it just gets out of control.
We'll make sure we put a link in the show notes, as I said before, for you. But give everybody your Instagram handle again, so they can make sure that they go to the right spot.
The Michelle O'Neil, TheMichellEoneil.
All right. So your firm has been around for decades. I was doing some research on the internet about you and your team, and it looks like you and a partner started this firm a while back. And tell us a little bit of the makeup of your firm.
Yeah, we've been around for a while. Our firm is known as the OWL Firm, OW Lawyers, and we are exclusively family lawyers. We handle all sorts of family law all over the state of Texas. We have offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Frisco, and Houston. We are known all across the state for family law litigation. That's the hard kind of family law, not the easy kind of family law, the hard cases that need trying. In Texas, we are the only state that allows jury trials in custody cases.
Wow.
Other states have jury trials maybe in property cases, but no other state has jury trials in custody cases. And we are the firm that tries the most jury trials across the entire state of Texas. So we try the hard cases, and that's what we're known for. I also am an appellate lawyer. So the cases that get tried that end up going up on appeal to have those decisions reviewed by the appellate courts, that's my specific specialty. So we're able to handle cases from the very beginning all the way to the very end in front of the Texas Supreme Court.
I just think about the complexity of the law that not only in Texas but all over the country, just because of technology alone, has really challenged and stretched the legal system to the nth degree. How much different it was in the 90s or beyond when you started your practice as opposed to now, and I'd love to hear your comments just about that.
Yeah, I mean, the legal landscape of family law particularly was so different whenever I started practicing law. It was simpler. It was a little bit more obvious. Judges were more traditionalists when they looked at a family unit.
Mm-hmm.
As life and times have gone on, the definition of family has become more complex. For whether it's grandparents or same-sex families or single-parent families or fathers taking a more active role, all of which, are good things. I mean, the more people that love a child, the better the child is. Mm. And, as long as those people are good, healthy, normal, well-meaning people, all of those are good things. But family law has just become complex, and families have become more complex as time has gone by. And that has made, my job basically more complex. So it does look a lot different than it did whenever I started out when I was 24 years old and a recent graduate of Baylor University School of Law. Now I'm a professor at Baylor University School of Law teaching family law trial skills. And it does look a lot different than it did many years, 30-something years ago.
And I think about how bottlenecked and choked the system is when it came to just divorce and family law to begin with, and then you add the additional element and layer of forensics as it relates to AI. That's got to be a whole new field that is opening up for those in the tech world.
Yeah, it really is. You know, during COVID, the court system got very backlogged in family law, and I don't think it's even recovered yet. We still see significant backlogs in the family law system even since COVID, 5 years later.
Hmm.
And the courts are, you know, implementing time restrictions to try to even still recover from that, which has been very unfortunate because you think about, you know, a 20-year marriage or a 15-year marriage with custody issues, and a judge gives you 30 minutes to present a final
Right.
trial on a
Right.
custody case per side. You can't you can't narrow down a 15-year marriage with, you know, custody issues into 30 minutes per side in a final trial. I mean, that's just almost impossible and unfortunate to do, and really affects the ability of our citizens to have meaningful access to our courts and our judicial system. But I mean, it's a balance, right? Of how do you balance all of these factors? So you know, so it's a very difficult process. And then, you know, you add something like this, the size and magnitude that the issue of the veracity of the evidence before the court, the
Hmm.
magnitude that this issue has the potential to be before our judges, and adding, you know, expert testimony on the veracity of evidence to that problem that already exists. I mean, it has the ability to completely paralyze our judicial system in the family law context.
And then you
Um,
go from there, and then you go to, I'm assuming there's some level of appeal that could be brought also. So now you're adding another court case and another whole process, another trial.
and add to that the cost factor
Right.
and the problem that that causes for an access to justice for people that don't have the means to hire lawyers like my firm. You know, for people who, you know, can't afford even the basic of lawyering, you know, much less lawyers, you know, that are at my level. I mean, it's just a tragedy, and it's going to get to be more of a tragedy if you add the imbalance of power that, you know, the deep fake AI problem creates, and the imbalance of power that a woman would have who doesn't have the ability to hire a forensic expert to evaluate a fake evidence, and she's sitting there victimized saying that's not me and I didn't do that. Or I like, what if they fabricated a
Right.
child abuse
Right.
video,
Right. Right.
and, you know, you know, a poor victim, be it male or female? I mean, statistically, women are more victimized by this than men at this point. I don't suspect that'll continue to be the case. But, you know, a poor victim of this that has no money can't go hire an expert to evaluate this and defend themselves. So then you have an access to justice problem. So
Hmm.
then you don't even have access to the court system or to your own constitutional rights. So
Incredible.
I mean, it is it is a possibility and maybe even a probability to paralyze the rights of many of our citizens to justice in the family law context.
I am assuming you are not short of your phone ringing for people that have this issue that's been going on. Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, I this is a problem, and I think that with the rise of AI and it becoming more available to the regular citizens, like Chat GPT and
Hmm.
all the advances we've seen in Chat GPT just in the last, what, 5, 6 months, just available to me, a non-technology over 50-year-old woman. You know, I don't know
Right.
that much about technology, and I know how to use Chat GPT, and then it advances and advances and advances, and now all of a sudden we can make videos and still images and all sorts of things with it. I mean, think about these young people that know how to use technology.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I so appreciate you enlightening our community, enlightening me to this subject. When I saw when I was approached by Valerie, who connected us together, I was looking at your subject matter, and I said, "Is this a thing?" And apparently, I kind of knew it was a thing just based upon politics and all of that, but I did not realize, and I had even heard that that kids high school, junior high, or middle school, and even elementary school are maneuvering these photos, and it really is a horrible subject. But I never even thought about it as an additional element in family law as well. So.
Yeah,
My gosh.
that's the interesting thing about family law is that just about any topic that affects a family or a child is a family law topic.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Michelle, I so appreciate you bringing awareness to this to our audience and to me. And thanks for being on our Nice Guys podcast today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Nice Guy community, never underestimate the power of nice. Again, special thanks to Michelle O'Neill. All of her information, including access to her Instagram page, her website, and all of the other socials will be right there in the show notes. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. They have listeners in other countries? I didn't think anyone was listening outside of their house. Except maybe their moms.